Hello everyone. Today I want to discuss a very important topic, heart health. When you think of heart problems, what's your first thought? Are you like me, immediately thinking of the TV drama scene where someone suddenly clutches their chest, angrily grimacing, and exclaims, "Ouch, my chest hurts so badly." Many of us subconsciously assume that chest pain is the heart's only warning, right? But today I must share a very important fact. Heart failure, the beginning of its distress signal, often doesn't begin with chest pain. The real danger lies in seemingly unrelated minor ailments. I've seen many elderly people ignore early warning signs, mistaking these distress signals for minor problems. As a result, they delay treatment, turning minor issues into major problems and missing out on the best opportunities for treatment. Whenever I see this, I feel deeply saddened and regretful. You have to understand that heart failure, unlike a cold or fever, doesn't come on suddenly. It's a very slow and subtle process, like a thief that quietly sneaks into our bodies. But before committing their crime, this thief always leaves clues. So what are the signals that signal our heart is weakening, quietly calling for help? Today I'll detail 5 key symptoms that are often overlooked. I hope you'll take a moment to listen. This may be crucial for you and your family's heart health, helping us identify problems early and protect this most important line of defense in our bodies. Before we get started, if you truly care about your and your family's health, please click the subscribe button below and enable notifications to ensure you don't miss out on more practical health information. Here we only reveal health truths that mainstream media rarely share. If you like what we share, please leave a 1 in the comments section to show your support for our continued success. If you or your family are struggling with similar issues, please leave a message and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, let's get to today's topic, 5 key symptoms of heart failure that are often overlooked. Our heart, to put it simply, is the engine in our bodies, a pump that never rests. It beats relentlessly day and night, pumping blood, carrying oxygen and nutrients to every corner of our bodies, from our brains to our toes, sustaining all our vital functions. But in today's society, the pace of life is incredibly fast. Many people in their youth struggle with work and family, facing high stress, irregular meals, poor sleep, and perhaps even smoking and drinking habits. These accumulated burdens quietly put strain on our engines. Consequently, we see that heart-related illnesses are becoming increasingly common, and they're affecting younger and younger people. Heart failure is the gradual decline in the power of this engine, its weakness. The most troublesome aspect of this condition is that its early symptoms are often subtle, easily mistaking them for natural symptoms of aging or failing. Many people wait until they feel extremely unwell before seeking medical attention, only to discover that the problem is already very serious. Therefore, it's crucial to be aware of the potential signs of heart failure and intervene at the first sign of it. Let's get to the heart of today's topic and examine these 5 heart alarms. First alarm, unexplained weight gain. Have you ever experienced this? You've been eating just fine lately, haven't overeaten or lost any activity, but then you step on the scale and see, wow, you've gained several pounds. Your belt feels tighter. Most of us would immediately react with, "Oh, I've gained weight," or "Maybe I'm bloated because I drank too much water." However, you might not realize that this unexplained weight gain could actually be your heart sounding the alarm. Why does this happen? Think about it. When our heart's engine loses power, its pumping function weakens. It's like a broken water pump in your home. Water can't be pumped in or out. Excess fluid in our bodies can't be excreted through normal channels, so it accumulates in various areas, particularly in the legs and ankles, where gravity pulls on them. As a result, the body begins to retain water, which appears as edema, and naturally leads to weight gain. So this gain isn't fat, but rather unexcreted wastewater. A patient, Mr. Wang in his 50s, usually felt fine and didn't exercise much. A few months ago, he noticed he gained 5 kilograms without any activity, and his legs were swollen. He couldn't even fit his pants, which used to fit him well. At first he dismissed it as edema from the damp weather and thought it would heal in a couple of days. But as time went on, His legs became increasingly swollen, and eventually his stomach began to feel bloated, and breathing became labored. He realized something was wrong and rushed to the hospital. An examination shocked everyone. His heart function had been severely damaged, and he was in the process of developing heart failure. The weight gain and leg swelling we see are just the tip of the iceberg. Data shows that approximately 70% of heart failure patients experience varying degrees of weight gain at the time of diagnosis. Unfortunately, many people fail to connect the dots. Of course, I would also like to remind everyone that simply gaining weight doesn't necessarily indicate heart failure. There are many possible causes. The key is to observe whether the weight gain is sudden and whether it's accompanied by other abnormal conditions. It's particularly important to note that edema can be more severe in cold weather. This is because cold temperatures slow blood circulation, making it more difficult for fluid to return. So here's a key point. If you notice sudden weight gain, especially accompanied by leg and foot swelling, pressing your calf with your finger creates a dent that doesn't return, or even chest tightness and shortness of breath, be extremely cautious. This may not be simply weight gain or edema, but rather your heart is desperately sending you signals. My advice is to visit a cardiologist as soon as possible for a checkup and reassure yourself. Second alert: excessive nighttime urination. For many of us middle-aged and older adults, waking up to use the bathroom at night seems commonplace. Many people think, hey, isn't that just how it is with age? Or I must have drunk too much soup or water at dinner. But did you know that frequent nocturnal urination can also be an early sign of declining heart function? Why does heart disease increase nighttime urination? The reason is actually quite simple. Think about it. During the day, we spend most of our time standing or sitting, and blood circulation in our bodies can barely maintain a steady state. But at night, when we sleep and lie flat on our backs, the excess fluid that has accumulated in our legs due to gravity is unimpeded and begins to flow back up our upper body, re-entering the bloodstream. This suddenly increases blood flow to our kidneys. The kidneys see, so much fluid to process. They're forced to work overtime, filtering out even more urine to maintain fluid balance. The result is you're up 3 or 4 times a night, or even more, and can't sleep well. My neighbor, 75-year-old Grandma Lynn, is in this situation. She wakes up 3 or 4 times every night, disrupting her sleep and leaving her feeling dizzy and completely exhausted during the day. She initially thought she was drinking too much water and even stopped drinking much after dinner. But instead of getting better, her condition worsened. She started to feel constant swelling in her legs, and she was out of breath even when she walked, even slightly faster. It was then she realized the problem was serious and went to the hospital for a checkup. The results showed that her heart's pumping capacity had severely decreased. Fluid wasn't being metabolized, so it accumulated in her lower body during the day and backed up when she lay down at night. This put a huge strain on her kidneys, leading to the frequent nocturia. It dawned on him that the frequent nighttime wakings that had plagued him for so long were actually rooted in his heart. Studies have shown that over 60% of heart failure patients experience frequent urination at night. You see, this isn't something that can be simply explained by drinking too much water. So again, a reminder, if you've recently been waking up frequently, seriously disrupting your sleep, and you're constantly feeling lethargic and fatigued during the day, or even experiencing some leg swelling, don't take it lightly. Especially if you've reduced your evening water intake and the situation hasn't improved, you should consider getting your heart function checked. Don't wait until the condition worsens to regret it. Third alert: poor sleep and shortness of breath. Have you ever experienced this? Lying in bed at night, tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep, feeling a sense of panic and suffocation? Or even worse, you're soundly asleep, when suddenly you'll feel short of breath, as if someone's covering your mouth and nose, suffocating you and waking you up quickly, forcing you to sit up and gasp for air. Many people's first reaction when faced with this situation is, "Am I too stressed lately?" Or, "Do I have insomnia?" While these are all possible, there's another crucial possibility. Your heart function may be deteriorating, leading to a lack of oxygen to the body, especially the brain at night. When our heart engine lacks power and blood circulation is impaired, the body's oxygen supply is affected. This is especially true when we lie down to sleep at night, where we lie flat on our backs. This increases the blood flow to the heart, and the heart's workload is already greater than during the day. If its function has declined, it must work even harder to deliver blood and oxygen throughout the body. This can lead to mild swelling in the lungs due to blood congestion, impairing oxygen exchange. This can lead to breathing problems, insomnia, and nighttime awakenings. Some people even find it difficult to sleep lying flat, requiring 2 or even 3 pillows to elevate their upper body to feel comfortable. Research data confirms this, with approximately 40 of heart failure patients experiencing various sleep disorders, the most common of which are the nocturnal dyspnea and brief periods of sleep apnea we just mentioned. So remember, if you've been having trouble sleeping lately, especially if you're waking up with suffocation and noticeably shortness of breath, or if you find yourself unknowingly shifting your pillow higher and higher, be extremely vigilant. This could be a sign of your heart sending you warnings of oxygen deprivation. It's recommended that you visit a hospital as soon as possible for a heart test, such as an electrocardiogram or ascardiogram. Fourth warning sign: exhaustion after even the slightest movement. Do you feel like your energy isn't what it used to be? You used to be able to climb 3 flights of stairs without a hitch. But now, after just 2 steps or climbing 1 flight, you feel exhausted, short of breath, and even a little dizzy. Many people attribute this to age. I can't help but accept my age, or I'm just lazy and lack exercise. But in reality, it could also be a very important warning from your heart. When our heart's pumping capacity declines, in other words, it's unable to keep up with its efforts. It can't supply enough blood and oxygen to our muscles and organs during exercise. As your body moves, your oxygen demand increases. But the heart, as a supplier, can't keep up. As a result, your organs begin to suffer from oxygen deprivation, leading to extreme fatigue, chest tightness, and dizziness. This fatigue can last even after sitting down for a long time. Research has found that approximately 40 of heart failure patients experience a significant decrease in exercise tolerance in the early stages of the disease. This fatigue stems from the heart's inability to meet the blood and oxygen demands of physical activity, causing the body to quickly run out of energy. So a special reminder: if you've recently noticed yourself feeling unusually tired after even the slightest bit of activity, and this fatigue is significantly greater than that of people your age, or even higher than you used to experience, don't simply attribute it to aging or laziness. Especially if this fatigue is accompanied by chest tightness, shortness of breath, and dizziness, I strongly recommend that you seek medical attention immediately to avoid a notice worsening of your condition. The 5th warning sign: memory loss. This may be surprising to many people. We often think poor memory is a brain problem. What does it have to do with the heart? It's incredibly important. Heart failure not only affects your physical strength, but can also quietly erode your memory. Let me share a real-life example. Ms. Lee, a patient in her 60s, had been experiencing a period of severe memory loss. She often forgot what she was about to do, sometimes even forgetting important things. She even got lost on a familiar street near her home. Initially, she thought it was simply age, a fading brain, or perhaps she was just tired and forgetful. But her condition worsened, impacting her daily life. Accompanied by her family, she went to the hospital for a comprehensive examination. Doctors ultimately determined that her heart had entered the middle stage of failure, and her memory loss was due to insufficient blood pumping from her heart, which led to chronic blood supply depletion in the brain and cognitive impairment. Why was this happening? The brain is one of the most oxygen-intensive organs in the body. Like a supercomputer requiring a constant power supply, it demands a very high blood supply. When the heart, the central pump, weakens and insufficient blood is pumped, the brain is the first to be affected. Reduced oxygen supply to the brain directly leads to memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and even slower thinking. If this lack of oxygen to the brain persists for a long time, it can accelerate the deterioration of brain function and even increase the risk of Alzheimer's disease. Studies have found that people with heart failure have a 20 to 50 higher risk of cognitive impairment, In healthy individuals, with short-term memory, the inability to remember recent events being the most common type of impairment. So if you've been losing things lately, having trouble concentrating, or even feeling like your mind is slowing down, don't simply attribute it to aging. Ask yourself, have I also been experiencing frequent chest tightness, shortness of breath, and fatigue lately? If these symptoms occur simultaneously, be on high alert. This could be a dangerous signal from your heart. Many people don't realize that heart and brain health are closely linked. If you or a family member has recently experienced frequent memory loss and slowed thinking, along with the symptoms mentioned above, be sure to visit a hospital for a heart checkup as soon as possible. Don't let heart failure unknowingly damage your brain health. Having said all this, I ultimately want to remind everyone that heart failure doesn't develop overnight. It's a gradual process. Many people don't realize the severity of the problem until symptoms become very obvious, such as legs so swollen they can't walk or shortness of breath that keeps them awake at night. Every major illness is preceded by minor warning signs. As long as we remain vigilant, regularly check our bodies, and seek medical attention promptly, it's entirely possible to detect and control heart failure early, preventing it from worsening. Now that we've learned about the 5 warning signs of heart failure, what should we do about its prevention and daily care? 1. Regular physical examinations. We recommend that middle-aged and elderly individuals have a comprehensive physical examination at least once a year, including tests like an electrocardiogram and echocardiogram to identify potential problems. Early detection and treatment are always the most cost-effective investments in health. To manage underlying conditions. If you already have chronic conditions such as hypertension, diabetes, or high blood lipids, you're at high risk for heart failure and must strictly follow your doctor's instructions to keep these indicators within normal ranges. 3. Moderate exercise. Choosing gentle aerobic exercises like walking, tai chi, and swimming are very beneficial for strengthening your heart. However, remember to exercise within your capacity and rest when you feel tired. Never overexert yourself. For healthy diets, adhere to a low-salt, low-fat, high-fiber diet. Eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, and limit or eliminate pickled vegetables, bacon, and other preserved foods. 5. Quit smoking and limit alcohol. It's an undeniable fact that smoking and excessive drinking directly increase the strain on your heart. For your heart's sake, you must make a commitment to quit. 6. Maintain a positive mood. Avoid extreme mood swings, learn to distress, and find hobbies to boost your mood. 7. Get adequate sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each day. This is the prime time for your body and heart to repair itself. 8. Take medications as directed by your doctor. If you have been diagnosed with a heart condition, it's crucial to take your medications on time and in the correct dosage. Never stop or change your dosage without permission. Well, friends, that concludes our discussion of the 5 warning signs of heart failure. Let's quickly summarize today's key points. If you or a family member experiences any of the following symptoms, please have your heart function checked immediately. Don't delay and see a doctor immediately. 1. Swelling of the legs and feet, sudden weight gain. 2. Frequent urination at night. 3. Poor sleep and difficulty breathing. 4. Exhaustion after even the slightest movement. 5. Memory loss. Heart health requires long-term, patient care, like cherishing a precious treasure. This is especially true for middle-aged and elderly people whose bodily functions are declining. It's even more important to pay attention to the various warning signs our bodies are sending. Remember, prevention is always better than cure. Caring for your heart starts today. Through scientific lifestyle management and necessary medical intervention, we can maintain a healthy, strong heart and enjoy a happy and fulfilling later life. That's all for today's sharing. I hope these tips are helpful. If you find them useful, please like and share them with those you care about. If you haven't subscribed yet, remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on more professional health tips in the future. If you like what we share, please enter a 1 in the comment section to show your support for our continued success. See you in the next video.